Good morning.
Oh yeah,
good
we're
morning.
here. We're alive.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Woo!
How are we doing, people?
Energy. Mashiach now.
Mashiach now. Today is Yud Shvat, and that is Tu B'Shvat.
Tu B'Shvat. Hagi Lanot.
Tu B'Shvat Egia Chag Le'anot.
We're live on all the
And it
platforms.
is January 24th.
Yes, we're in a different space thanks to our wonderful host, Mr. Charles Sakal.
Chacham
Shaul, and AK at the Zera Shimshon. Check it out, zerashimshon.com. We're live there. Just a shout out for our host. And
Hashem, Yichud, Kudsha, B'richu, U'shchintei, Baruch, Ata, Adonai Eloheinu, Melech HaOlam, Shehakol Nihiya B'Dvaro.
Amen. I'm rocking a different cap, so you got a beautiful sweater.
I don't normally rock a cap, but it's a little chilly here in Eretz Yisrael.
Pretty warm here, actually.
It is kind of warm.
Especially when you're next to the picture of Ravadia and all these svarim and all this business that's put in front of us.
But we're talking about kindness and all these amazing organizations like Yosef Chesed and all about kindness.
Yes.
And Unity
Inspires projects and Unity bookings, Unity marketing.
So I just figured I'd wear Southern NCSY because my wife, who I miss dearly, who's in Chutz La'aretz right now to visit her parents who are not doing
she's
so
a big
well.
part of this whole process for sure.
So she NCSY does a tremendous amount of chesed and work as well. Today's class is dedicated to Unityinspiresprojects Golan ben Shalom. It's for the Fuah Shlema of Benayahu ben Chagit, Menachem ben Tamara, Shir bat Meital, Akiva Meir, Ben Malka Liudmila, Yael bat Malka Liudmila, and all the injured and sick that we have in Eretz Yisrael. They should all have a speedy recovery and a complete recovery with Hashem.
Amen. I'm also dedicating to my son Bochis Ben Masha amongst all the other soldiers in Khan Yunis and other places around Eretz Yisrael. We're having many sleepless nights. Not an easy time period. And it's very fitting that we would discuss today Mashiach comes from Chesed. Mashiach is brought by kindness. By us doing kindness, this is what's going to bring Mashiach.
But before we do that, we're going to sing a song.
That's true. Thanks for reminding me.
No problem.
Tave libeinu li'avdecha be'emes Tave libeinu li'avdecha be'emes Tave libeinu li'avdecha be'emes B'tare libeinu li'avdecha be'emes B'tare libeinu li'avdecha be'emes B'tare libeinu li'avdecha be'emes. That's what it's about, isn't it? Yeah.
Purify our hearts so we can serve you with the absolute truth.
And I love the fact that it's MS, Emet, like that's the youth of the unity focus. We're drawing together different lives, different journeys, and bring it all together in the Holy Land, a kibbutz goliath. So how do we get the Mashiach energy going? Like when it's such a painful day, just yesterday, and the night before, my wife didn't sleep a cloud because it was any minute she was worried as a knock and the news, and it's so intense. And how do we get out of this darkness, this cutness, this smallness, this pain? We're all feeling it, and yet we're still singing. We're going ahead, but we
have to. Rav Shlomo said today, right? Rav Shlomo Katz said in this year today. We have Shir with Rav Shlomo Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
What a blessing!
Mondays and Wednesdays, we're currently learning about Tikkun Hamdina from Rav Ginsburg.
Yeah.
And the body doesn't want to sing, but the soul needs it. It's just that it's a necessity in order to be able to continue moving forward.
Amen.
It's just, yesterday was a very, very rough day. And it just reminds me of, I'll never forget this as long as I live, when I was living in Chutz La'aretz. And during Tzuk Eitan, 2014, when we found out that the boys were captured and
I was hidden. honestly.
I was living in Florida. I was working for a company, and there was a guy there that I always got into political debates with.
Not recommended.
Especially in the business space.
Yeah.
But I remember when we found out the boys were killed, and I just started crying.
Wow.
And he looked at me and he's like, "Did you know them?"
Yeah.
I was like, "No." He's like, "So why are you crying?" And at that point,
the crazy thing, they were already killed for a while.
We just didn't know, but
we were all so hopeful that, you know, with all the Achdus and unity, and we discovered all the tunnels in that time, and there was so much good.
But that was the exact moment. I think that's, as I say in Hebrew, Nafali Simon, right? When it made sense to me how we're so different.
Right.
We're all connected. Every single Jew, observant, non-observant, Sfaradi, Ashkenazi, Haredi, it doesn't matter. We're all connected, and I couldn't function yesterday. I had a rough day. 24 sons, brothers,
people from our community.
Fathers. Yeah. 3 people from the Gush. One that grew up in Efrat, and one in Lazar, one on Alon Shvut.
The Vaya is going on. The Vaya, right outside.
Not pashut, but we go forward and we plug forward, and the way we do that is not just by dibur, it's by dibur, it's by asiyah, and asiyah is doing chesed.
Yeah. So when we thought of this title, we know, one, we need Mashiach, and we also know the importance of chesed. You know, I was thinking of another title which I think we should discuss next week, about being sniut with our chesed, like doing it in a way that's not, like, doesn't always have to be advertised all the time, even though we want to encourage and empower others. But when it comes to Mashiach, there's always this feeling that we need to empower, we need to get moving, we need to, especially like with Chabad, for example, Mashiach Now, the Rebbe, nowadays there's just like this feeling of needing people, everyone's talking about it, you go around, I feel it, you know, that there maybe needs, as Rav Shlomo said, a real song, like it hasn't come yet, as Yosher, this song that will bring us all together for Mashiach. That was my hope with the Just One Chesed. We were going to do a song. I'm still hopeful. It's still in discussion. It's still back and forth. But the main point is, it should be a song that brings Mashiach, that brings that feeling of Mashiach, that need for Mashiach, and expresses, as Rav Shlomo said so wisely today, that deep yearning, and at the same time that deep recognition of pain and struggle. So when it's all come together, there'll be a song that will come from such a true place, and from souls who are so real about the situation, that it will bring that unity feeling, that united souls experience that I know I grew up with. I grew up with Live Aid. I grew up, you know, the Havdil, with events that brought together the world for a cause, for a charity. But now imagine doing that for Mashiach, for the ultimate Geula.
Right, so that's the question. My question is, you know, everyone's talking about Mashiach, justifiably so. But is this just the beginning of the process? Like, you know, we talk about Chesed. You said in the last class, Chesed is what's going to bring Mashiach.
Magen Avraham. It's based on the Vilna Gaon.
Right.
Eliyahu HaChassid, you know, who I'm named after. He was the Litvak, but he was
how much more Chesed needs to be done by Klal Yisrael for him to reveal himself? I don't think we've ever seen in our lifetimes as much Chesed that's happening. Working for Just One Chesed, I'm approached by Eretz Yisrael and by people in Chutz La'aretz that are coming here, and they just want to do Chesed, and there aren't enough opportunities for them to do them.
Sure.
Everyone's doing Chesed, so where is he? Where is he?
I mean, I have a feeling Mashiach's here. I mean, I don't know.
Great. So when is he revealing himself? How much longer? I've never thought in a million years that my heart can break so many times over the course of when you break something, even though you put back the pieces, it's not the same.
There's a hashkafa about it, but it's gone to the point where I don't really want to have the hashkafa conversation, because what you're saying is the feeling, is that we are. I know it's not just about feelings, but it's reality. Our hearts are so broken. Like I said this a while back to my Rebbe in front of the whole English-speaking community there. I said, my heart's so broken, I literally feel this blood, this space now is filled with my blood on the floor that's coming out from my heart. I did that a few years back with certain things that were going on, and it was like, they were looking at me like he's a bit crazy. But like now, unfortunately, as a nation, I'm sure the heart is broken all around. So there's blood literally all over any base midrash, any shul, any business. People are like pouring out their hearts. They're broken. So the feeling and the reality is ripe for us to yearn and scream out for Mashiach. And it's just a matter of us really doing that. But at the same time, I think that, like we were saying at the beginning, we still need to go forward. We still need to keep doing Ma'aseh Chesed, kindness. There's still plenty. There's even more that's needed because homes have been broken through this war, and in all different ways. Financially, I'm still getting my B'tuach Leumi and tax sent to me as if nothing's going on. The government haven't said, "Oh, you're a parent of a soldier. Here you go. Let me help you out for a few months."
Please don't get me started about the government.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, it's not like there's any relief. There's not any relief from the institutions that are chasing us for whatever they need, or think they need, and threatening us. If you don't pay now, we're going to cut off your little bit that we give you for your yeladim, for your children, and these kind of letters they send you. Even still, you think during the war they changed the nusach a little bit, but they're still the same. So that when you're in
didn't Rav Shlomo say today in class that I don't want to mention any names, but an individual in Kfar Aza was told by the upper levels of the military that even when this is all over, they should still expect to get rockets. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what people are saying.
This
is the mindset. Like
nothing's changed.
We just from those people.
The leadership. Nothing has changed.
What can I say?
Are people who lived down there going to feel comfortable going back home, knowing that this is?
They couldn't just type a letter a little bit different during this time period. Look, we know we're going for Muhammad. They're particularly on in the Muhammad. They're not souls. They're not human beings. So people sit there writing these letters out. Or printing them and sending them in the post. They can't just add a little bit of a change. We'll let you go a little bit. We'll make it easy a little bit. We understand that there's panasa, economic situation isn't exactly the same, so we're going to give you a little bit of respite. As soon as this finishes, one of the first things I need to do is find out my accountant and pay my B'tuach Leumi. I shouldn't have to have that coming into my postbox right now, being a father and a mother of a child who's giving up his life every day in Khan Yunis, protecting these B'tuach Leumi guys sitting there in their office over there.
You're right.
It's not correct, and there's so much going on like that. And that is why we need Mashiach, because the leadership is broken. Like, they're more broken than anybody. The leadership is completely broken. We don't have leaders, so we need Mashiach.
Someone said today, we have nobody. I mean, we're like a Doyaton. We really are. We have nobody that's speaking to our neshama. No one's speaking to our
leadership
soul.
Position. There's individuals.
Correct.
He said a deep thing, and I added in from Ezra Tauber, the Holocaust survivor. He had a gilui from Elianovi that our generation, we have to become rebbes.
We have to become rebbes.
We have to become little rebbes. It doesn't mean we're following and the whole thing. It doesn't mean that. It means like what we're doing now in this podcast. We're manifesting that. We have to now step up and say, if someone else won't be the voice, then we have to do it. It may not Ish. We have to be the Ish. Well, that's what's happening. So someone like a Shmer or a Shmuck, however you want to call me, someone who's not such a big, Goin and Torah and Tzaddik and all those Madregas, suddenly I'm forced to sit and speak. And because there's no one else. It just really has got to that point. So I used to say to the Bochum when they used to call me Rebbe, I said, such a generation where I become a Rebbe, I have to teach you, and you call me the Midnight Rabbi and all this stuff. Then it shows you where we're at. That's why we need Mashiach.
I think we need something. Did you see the video by Mendes Friedman?
Yeah.
About that boy who was driving to the festival. I could not.
Good to bring that one up, because that broke my heart.
Me,
I just sat there and cried.
That's
soul piercing.
But that's a Yid. Yeah. That's a Jew.
Yeah.
It's a Jew that we have neglected to find the proper way to connect to them.
Right.
We haven't done our part.
And they've got Chelek Elokam in Mamish. He's shining in that video. His godly soul is shining. He's singing the Elokai Neshama.
And he died out Shem Kiddush Hashem.
Yeah, and he was preparing himself in a way that he is a soul. On a soul level, everything's fine. It's down here the problem is that we're not manifesting the soul. These kind of people that are soulful are pushed aside. They're not given any respect by the system, and they're not the government don't give you a bonus for doing acts of chesed or sending your son to the war and being most nefesh for months, not being able to see him only one Shabbos. I don't care. There's no like consideration in that, and they just carry so many other things.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
as difficult as it is, and as the government, as much as we believe that the government needs to be changed, and they need to have a nes where they have a gilui, and when we say tachonin l'adam dat, we think about their dat.
There should be good mishpat.
I want to say for myself, and I'm sure Eli feels the same way. We wouldn't rather be anywhere else in the world.
100%.
With all the craziness and the mishigat that goes on in Eretz Yisrael, it's still home and it's still the best place.
Look, we sang at the beginning, Tali Beinu, Hashem purifying the heart. I'd rather it come from simcha and dancing and joy, like a Tu B'Shvat Suda tonight with the Rebbe. Like the Chassidim are still doing that. They're going to get together and dance. So I'm going to go there probably for a little bit for touch base with the Rebbe. But the point is, touch base. I don't know if I'm going to have that one-to-one situation. Maybe I can think about it when I'm there and daven for it, but practically I don't know. But the point is that when they're still dancing, they're still rejoicing, we have to...
But we need to, because if we're not, then they win.
No, we have to keep going.
The Yetzer Hara wins. They're the Yetzer Hara. They're the evil, right? We spoke about that in the earlier podcast. The greatest chesed is eliminating the evil. But
not the Chassidim.
No, chas v'shalom. I'm saying the evil. I'm saying we need to eliminate the evil in the world, right? The terrorists. But if we're still sad, then they win.
Yeah,
if we're not being, we say it every day in Shacharit, Yivdu Hashem b'simcha, right? Kuf, right? If we don't say, if we're not b'simcha, then they win.
And Mashiach comes b'koyach.
And that's why Rav Shlomo says all the time we have to be so focused.
Yeah.
We have to be focused.
And part
of the focus is being b'simcha.
And I think that's why we said that kindness brings Mashiach, because when you do kindness for a person, it gives them simcha. It really does. And it gives you simcha. And it's emes of kindness, not just like for the sake of honor and all this stuff. We'll talk about that next week. It's true kindness.
It's reciprocal.
And
that's the beauty of Chesed.
And that's when you do look at all the simcha. You're seeing it day after day with the soldiers and all the kindness that goes on. You're seeing it firsthand, no?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I had someone, Melinda Strauss, who came by with her husband Justin and her in-laws. They came, they made pizzas. We took it to the base, and just to be able to sit there and talk to them. And she actually sat down and spoke with one of the soldiers, and she asked, "How do you have the strength to go on?" And she said, "Well, I look at my soldiers and I see that they're doing their job, but then you guys are coming here and you're giving up knowing it. So it's all reciprocal." You know, and we discussed it the other time when I spoke on my podcast with the story with the guy who gave that tzedakah to me. Rabbi Nachman said the guy who accepts the chesed gets more schar than the one who gives it, because he's allowing the one who's giving it to give it.
Right, and
so it's all circular and reciprocal.
I'm going through some deep personal things right now that are challenging, and I want it to be in a way of chesed. I want to be able to share what I can on a panemius level in a kind way. Like, I can't get into specifics, but the idea that everyone should be blessed with more children, everyone should be blessed with more simcha and nachas, and everyone, you should just constantly be in that mind of chesed, of giving, being a nosen, being a giver, being like Hashem Yisbarach, or being a kind person who cares about others.
But part of the kindness also is that when somebody is noten, to receive.
Yeah, you have to make kabel.
And that's something that I struggled with for a long time.
As I said, I have no problem with that. So anyone, again, we big shout out to any of the sponsors we had last week. Malky from
All About Kindness.
All About Kindness. A shout out again to them, because it gave us a lot of chizuk to get that sponsorship and share it with our wives, Aisha's Chayil, who do so much to enable us to do what we do. And they themselves, my wife's right now at Magen David Adom. She's not feeling well, b'chalal, and she's still gone out. Magen David Adom, she hasn't had hardly any sleep, and she's still going out, volunteering on a freezing cold day, going out there, helping people, all kinds of people, and no difference, this person, that person, and this is the chesed of Am Yisrael, is what we do. And
Lillian just flew across the globe to go to Kibbutz Avaim. Her parents, father, Levi ben Libo, he's refuah shlema. So please, she's there. You know, her brother Gary, who's an unbelievable person. You know, he's one of those guys that I look at and such a neshama,
Oh,
such an unbelievable. He does chesed all day. He takes care of his parents.
wow.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the caregivers are amazing, and especially when it's like for family, when it's not even for payment. It's just because you love the person, you know.
So let's get back to Mashiach.
Mashiach.
Are we building Beit HaMikdash first, or does he coming and we're building it? How does that work?
I see it. It says the pasuk Yushalayim Habaniya Kiyeshachuba La Yachtov. It comes together. I wrote a whole album that was called Together. It's about bringing Shemayim Haaretz, the Beis Hamikdash Shomala, Beis Hamikdash Shomata together. It's going to come from above. It's going to come from below. Our Ma'is and Tovim, our Chesed, will Me'oira, it's roots of the Latata, the awakening from below. When Me'oira, the roots of the Leila, the awakening from above, and that will bring this heavenly Beis Hamikdash to the Beis Hamikdash we're building below. So we need to do both. There's no like chesaron in doing ishtadlus and then seeing the bracha coming.
So then the question becomes: are we actively going to try to build it physically? Do we go and we try to build a Beit HaMikdash?
Whatever that level that means.
On a physical level.
Preparing us, I'm a Kohen. I need to know the halachas, what's going to be Beis Hamikdash. We have to start learning that. We are learning a little bit. There is a chabur. We need to increase that learning, that focus, with more kavana and Elena L'Shabbat. Mashiach the Kavanas in Shemona Esrei, start thinking about it.
How?
Because it's getting rid of Sakamarka Shakai, fixing up the bris. Just even being Shami your bris is bringing Mashiach. Not looking at things you shouldn't, not wanting things you shouldn't. That just also helps. It's also refraining from things. And you're saving that energy for who it's meant for your wife, for your soulmate, for your relationship, for your love, true love, for your family. Not to be dispersed and all these other things.
It's so interesting because actually, as we've mentioned before, we have a lot of company usually, and we had some girls over this past Shabbat, and we go around and we say, "What are we thankful for?" And one of the girls was so brilliant and so deep. She's like, "I'm
special people I got to see afterwards. So nice.
I'm thankful for silence."
Oh wow. Yeah.
For HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving me the ability to remain silent. When something's happening.
So there's a pasuk.
That's so deep.
I wish I had my bag here because there's a pasuk at the end in I think it's in Eicha, which says Hashem will save you in the merit of the silence. Now my daughter's Mindel Tova. Tova is beginnings of a test and ends of a hay. So I say it every song Hashem almost every day because I said psukim in my children's names. Every day as part of it, and Shemona Esrei is not just my own pasuk, but also.
Oh, you say all theirs too?
It's my own thing. I have my own avodas. I'm not telling this. What's in the Shem for everyone else. For me personally, like I say the names of my wife, my children. I feel like all the names are big lessons of my life, and they're psukim as well. So, and it's why me davening for them also. But there's my daughter's pasuk. She's my youngest girl. Is that the Yeshua is going to come from the silence? That we're hoping to him with silence. That's a very deep. In the deepest place, we're yearning for this Gilui without having to even formulate it because it's just so real and deep. It's from so raw place. It doesn't even have to be verbalized. Sometimes the words don't do justice.
Yeah.
And the silence actually shows a certain level of emunah b'tochen, and we're not having kindness on Hashem. We're just wanting Mashiach to save us. And that's very
the silence specifically when you're getting embarrassed in public and not saying anything, and that in and of itself. There was a specific case when I moved to a neighborhood, to a different neighborhood in Florida, and I was a Baal Tefillah, and an individual that was there didn't like the fact that he was almost replaced, and we were sitting at a lunch table, 30 people, and we were singing Smeot, and didn't like the fact that I was singing, so loudly, just got up and he just reamed into me. It felt like it was for 50 minutes, but it was like probably a minute and a half, and I just sat there and I didn't say a word, and in my mind, I'm really just was saying to myself, please give me the strength of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to not say a word, because if I say something, it's just going to perpetuate it, and it's going to make it worse. And that in and of itself, that silence is a chesed as well. It's a chesed for the Olam. Literally, he stopped blasting me and he ran out.
That's why we don't want
my Rav.
We don't want these kaparas, but when they come, they're big.
My Rav came over to me and he said to me, "Bracha achshav."
Wow.
I was like, "Achshav." Whatever.
That's when you have a tremendous power to give blessing. I think right now, Am Yisrael have a power because it's embarrassing what's happened to us, our security.
It's the biggest chilul
the way
Hashem
the world's
we've
talking about us.
The
It's
biggest
embarrassing.
chilul
But
Hashem.
thank you to Elon Musk, who made an appearance in Poland and Israel. This time with Ben Shapiro in Poland, and all these different Umas Olam who are reaching out to our people, so they're making our journey stronger and blessed, and we appreciate it very much. Have a cross at all. But at the end of the day, like Am Yisrael, we need to, stand on our own feet. Kumios la'atzenu. We need to be strong in this land and not worrying about silly little B'tuch Lami stories. We need to be in a whole elevated level of how we're doing and having the shefa and abundance to be able to mashpia, to give over that light, and even in our brokenness to give over that light, to shine that light to the world. That's the biggest chesed we can do, is to be at all agoyim. They need us. They want us to do our mission. It's up to us to bring that out, that light. And
I think we need to be Orla Yehudim first.
I think it's both.
Because
I think
because I can.
Yeah.
There was something happened. I was at Hummus Eliyahu,
Sure.
one of the 3 participating restaurants in our Meals for Heroes project. An individual walked in, and he made a comment to the person behind the counter. He responded to him, and he looked at me, and I said something that I tried to be a little bit in the middle, and he made a comment to me as well. And I just looked at him and I smiled and I said, I just want you to be happy. Right? So then as I was leaving, he's like, Simcha, Shev, like, come sit. And I sat and I spoke to him, and I think it's really important that we give
time to each other.
But before we give them the time, we have to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and judge the favorites.
It's so critically important. We don't know he didn't do, what he's gone through, what he hasn't gone through. And many times,
it's just the head of Zera Shimshon calling me. So.
Many times we can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
It's so important. I got a chance to sit down and we literally, I sat there and I started crying with him about the 24 souls that we lost the previous day.
Sure.
So we sometimes, too often, we listen to be able to respond and not to hear. And I think it's so important to be able to, and we do that because we don't give people the benefit of the doubt. I think if we would give people the benefit of the doubt,
the ultimate kindness in a way, because we're making space for our people, and we're listening, we're looking for the good points, the true points. Ultimately, I just learned Tanya today, this famous Torah, that we have a Chedek Halakha Mimal Mamish within every Jew, and we have to learn how to see that, or at least connect to it on some level, that godly spark that resides in every person, and that's an eternal nitzot of a chelik of kedusha, of holiness, that's eternal and filled with endless goodness, and mitzvahs, eternal goodness, and that's what Mashiach is going to be about, expressing in an external sense, bringing that out completely, b'shleimus. But even now in Golis, it's a big. But just before Mashiach comes, it's a big part of the preparation is to learn how to have a sensitivity for souls, for neshamas, and to see the good.
Sometimes
that's a big chesed.
Sometimes it's difficult to see that. I'll never forget this as long as I live. My sister from another Mr. Ayelet Matheson, who happens to be married to my wife's first cousin. Nice. We were sitting down one time, and I was having a difficult time with one specific person, and she said something that was so brilliant. She's like, and we spoke about giving the person the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
And she said to me, would you yell at somebody who was handicapped and in a wheelchair? I said, no, probably not. She's like, well, then just imagine the person that you're speaking to has a mental or physical or spiritual or emotional handicap.
Right.
And if you're able to do that within the moment, you'll be able to potentially, B'ezrat Hashem, give them the benefit of the doubt. So shout out to my sister from another Mr. Ayelet Matheson.
Yeah, we have to look good and see good and remind ourselves that we're all going through a hard time right now in a deep way, and therefore we can unite together with kindness, and benefit of the doubt is definitely a big part of bringing Mashiach. And I do believe that we're very close. Like in a deep way, I feel very close, closer than ever. I feel my whole journey is part of that process personally, my personal journey. And my children are Mashiach children. They're like born here, and your children have come here now, and they're opening up to the light of Eretz Yisrael, and it's there. It's just a matter of a bit more strength, a few more acts of kindness, a few more souls need to come down to the world. It's just a matter of time before.
Just pray himself to be around when he reveals himself.
I remember Nachum Buhlman, one of my mashgichim, if anyone remembers, he was actually quite close with Eliel Kitov, and originally, and then later on with Shlomo Kalibach. He once, on one of his last speeches he ever spoke in Yeshiva Sosamed, he came there and he said, I just want to be Zocher to Makabel Panei Mashiach. Just give me a few more years. That's what his tefillah was. His last words he said to us. I just want to Makabel Panei Mashiach. I want to be Zocher to be at that time. And we are going to be at that time, please God. Amen. We are the neshamas of this time to Makabel Panei Mashiach. Amen.
Amen. So it's good to all the chesed that everyone's doing. And all the chesed that's going around throughout the entire world. And it's not just for our soldiers, and it's not just for Eretz Yisrael. You know, Malcolm all about kindness. You just raised that there was a 27-year-old orphan who needed surgery to remove something, and they didn't have insurance. You just raised, I think, like $40-something thousand in order to help, pay for the surgery. This chesed going on throughout the world. Continue doing your chesed. Give us your feedback. Why don't you guys tell us what cheseds that you guys are doing? So you could be give us some chizuk as well.
And do it not just privately. Do it if you feel comfortable.
Write it in the chat. Write it in the
notes. Share these videos. Even share the link of the video or the podcast. Share it and write with the video. This is what I did today. Like, we challenge you not just to tell us what you did, but now share this message that we're sharing, so it should go together. The video with your chesed. And go around all your WhatsApp statuses and groups, and let's just make a chesed revolution. What are we waiting for?
Okay.
We need Mashiach now. What are you waiting for? Waiting for someone else to do it? We need to do it now. It's not enough.
It's on us.
It's on us. Now's the time. No more Besoros Lortovis. No more stories like yesterday. We need to move forward with Mashiach, and that's a tzivui from Hashem to do chesed, to Avos Yisrael. This is Hashem's will. He wants this. Amen.
Until next week.
Thank you for joining us. All the love. One day we'll have someone do this.
Yeah.